stage setup, to the hosts, to the judges, to the audience, and then to the ladies. Listen, a round of applause going out to the production team. The setup was awesome. It was phenomenal. Honestly, I was just blown away when I saw that. And that shows that the weeks of hard work and everything is definitely paying off. Now, today on the show, you know how we do every single time, the review show, we just go deeper into the sides of the show that, people didn't really talk about. We're just going to be taking them one after the other and just running through them. And this is definitely an episode that we need to talk about. I was just excited last night. I was blown away, like I said. Everything was just on point. And so today's show here on the GMB Review Show, we're going to be delving deeper into last night's edition of Ghana's Most Beautiful 2023. My name is Noella. I'll be joined by my guests in the studio. But before I introduce them, let's just take a highlight. For those of you that missed, I don't know why you missed, but let's just take a highlight of last night's show on Ghana's Most Beautiful 2023.
So there you have it, our 16 beautiful ladies.
I have a story to tell you.
Long ago, Dradrana, when Emperor Japa embarked on his conquest of the current vast Gonja land, very strong. My grandchildren, I want you to know that a country that has no past has no future. You want to meet the one that say yo, Omuchaya, so nature, the mentessa the more, and one was the more.
One semi there and one kasa. I remember 7 times 7 dreadlocks.
You were telling us something that we needed to hear. You did it. Amwenima, you are almost there. You are almost there.
Amwenima, you are almost.
In the 19th century, they were not fortunate with inks and papers, but Adinkra had his way out by drawing his concept on a calabash tree every morning. His designs were amazing, full of inspiration. His first design is called Adinkrahine. Kase Adinkrahine.
Mama yakagba call na dada. But the donaji le afani banji. Her name invokes great pride and inspiration amongst the FL people.
Salam. This is par excellence. I can't describe your act.
And that is just 3 hours wrapped up in a few minutes so you can understand where I'm coming from. Listen, you have no idea what happened last night on Ghana's Most Beautiful 2023. But we're going to delve deeper into that. My guests are here to help me with that. And today, I have a very beautiful lady here. Sweetheart.
Hi.
What's popping? What's chilling? You know?
Going on well.
This is a very familiar face that all of you. I'm not even going to introduce him. Whatever. I'm going to introduce you. But sweetheart, you're welcome on the show. This is the first time. You're an artist viewer of Ghana's Most Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, last night, we learned a lot. It was so educative. We were told so many things, some of the things that we might have known, from the whole Kente history to so many stories. Yeah. What did you make? Just wrap up everything that happened last night.
So last night was an eye-opener because, I mean, they tell us the stories in school, in religious and moral education, in citizenship education, all of that. But last night, honestly, I didn't know there was an Ewe Kinte.
Right.
Like, I just knew that it was from the Ashanti region, that was it. I didn't know there was another type of Yasantwa. I don't know. I think there was an Ewe Yasantwa as well. I didn't know that as well. So it was like very, very great. It was an eye-opener and I loved it. I loved that session well. Yes.
I like the way Mildred is going. It was an eye-opener. She's going to give us a lot more details into that. But how about you?
I learned a lot too. So watching the show yesterday, I feel like, these girls really did good research. Because storytelling comes with 3 different things. So you have the hook, the character and then the voice. And these girls brought all these three things on. It was nice watching.
Even the costume.
You know. And I learned one fascinating thing I learned was the Bantama story. The Dagbon Hini and then the Ashanti. Like, yo, these girls really did a good job yesterday.
But I mean, we're not just here. Let me acknowledge our sponsors before they come for the
that.
Calipo here. So you can see Frutelli and Calipo have joined us to give us a refreshment on the show. You know, we're doing it very relaxed. Exactly. You have to sip. That's how we're doing it. There we go. We're going to be enjoying. So make sure maybe you can file in your nomination. I'll think of picking you to join us on the show very, very soon. But like I'm going to say, let's start with, you know, the setup. Right. I was blown when I saw the setup. You know, it was giving, what's this program? By the fireside.
Yeah.
You know, it was giving olden days when your grandma would call you after.
Tools and the fire.
The fire, everything was on point. You know, what do you make of the setup from yesterday?
It was awesome for me. So from the top, I saw something rounded at the top. And then down there, you saw the fire. What was the fire like? Was it light or what was it?
It wasn't like the actual flame. So they just had to it was an
Yeah.
artificial one because I mean they can't bring the fire on the stage.
Like, I was like, yo, so you know, I remember Black Sheriff performing at 3 Music Awards. Lights water was coming up. I'm like, so is there fire in the studio? Is it like I said there is fire in the studio?
Please.
It was so amazing.
The audience in there already brought the heat, so we couldn't have added fire. They were chilling so much. At a point, I was like, should I just wake up and join the audience? Because they were chilling on commercial breaks too much. What do you make of the setup as well?
So I think it was honestly, it was given traditional. For the whole storytelling idea, there were pots, there was the flame, the fire, and then there was the stool, like all of that. It was just given traditional with their outfits as well. Everything was great.
Talking about outfits,
yes.
You know, even before I come to the outfits of the contestants, let's talk about the hosts.
Right.
Oh my God.
Should we talk curves today too?
Sorry?
Should we talk curves?
Listen, it's you. Talk whatever you want to talk. But listen, our host came in on point from the beginning. You know, I saw someone say the brofo was brofoing. You know, everything was giving. Oh my God, our host Cookie T and Anissa, listen, every single time we're going to give you kudos because you know how to do what you do. I try about clothing, Laurie Hoots Couture. I mean, they're always, you know, clothing them as always. But what was your highlight? Or what was that one story that you say, okay, this one actually really, really blew you away?
I think there were a lot of them, but like I mentioned earlier, I like the whole Ewe Kente thing with the Ewe Yasan. So I really don't know how to pronounce her name. So yes, I loved that. And I loved Kwatima's performance as well. She was great. Yeah. And then I think Selom. Right. Selom also did very well. And my girl, she did awesome.
Yes, she
so
did.
I'm standing here.
Definitely. How about you?
I like the lady from the north. The one who told the Bantama story. The
Bantama story,
yeah. Because I was just connecting the whole thing and then looking back onto how the Dagbon King and then now the Dagbon Hene the first and then Otumfo said the first and now we have Dagbon and then the second. Like it's like there is some sort of connection there. It was awesome to watch. I like the Ever girl too, the Selom girl. I think she can go up to the finals and I wish her well.
I wish her well.
Yeah, I'm not ever.
Okay.
No. You come to check if there's an alignment over there.
She did so well.
We actually have to check.
Well. And a certain lady to perform and she was talking like an old lady.
Kwatima.
Kwatima.
Yes.
Charlie, yo.
She nailed it. She nailed it from beginning to end. I mean, I had to write it down by people because a lot of them brought their A game. You know, we're here talking about how all 32 of them brought their A games when they had to sell themselves. Yeah. And now we have the 16 and they're still giving each other a run for them. You know? So I'm like, I don't know what they're giving them. I don't know if it's in the food, if it's in the sleeping, whatever they're doing, please keep doing it because the ladies are all coming and it was so difficult. I didn't want to be one of the judges. I know.
Yeah. Right. Because at some point I felt like the judges were suffering to give their remarks.
They were.
Because everybody was doing something.
At the point I just felt like, you know what, just call 5 of them out. Yeah. Just make it 5-5-5 because
I realized when it was time for Miss Eloquent, they all, the same people had to pick.
Yeah.
So, it was just difficult for them to pick. So, should we go for this? Should we go for that? It was just difficult for them to pick. But
I mean,
great.
I had to, like I said, I had to write down the people that I saw. Nayeli definitely was there.
Of course.
Kwatima just gave
She
me
did
goosebumps
well,
the whole
yeah.
time because one point, I keep saying this, that when Anita asked her what she was going to say, she had this all, oh, I'm going to be giving you a history
Yeah.
on how the Dinka symbols came about. It's like, okay, so I was like,
And
and I'm like, excuse me, where did that come from? You know, she just embodied the character
Yeah.
right there. And Wenima also did wonderful, you know, talking about a free year from the Eastern region, telling us about how why the Kwehus, you know, have a lot of money.
Yeah.
She ended the show, and I think she ended it on a high.
well.
You know, it started on a high, ended on a high, because also I'm like, okay, girl, what's going on? Someone would think that because you're sitting through 16 stories, you'll be tired, you'll be worn out.
It's just interesting. Like there's different stories over and over. You know the thing. You feel like you've heard the story before, but then they bring something else and like, wow, this is also from this region, and then you are surprised, like, wow.
After that comes the storytelling.
Yes, definitely.
And the fact that we had like 10 regions and now we have 16. And then we have like more stories. It's great. I loved it.
So many. I mean, listen, if you're going to mention names from Chumwa, but listen, we have a lot of and even the way and manner in which they gave out their stories.
Right.
You know, some came very energetic in the beginning. Some also like embodied the character, like we
sort
said.
of transition.
Exactly.
When
You know,
the
they just had to show you the different ranges.
Were,
Everything
was
was
great.
Listen,
Loved it.
these ladies are going to give the
eight.
audience.
The 8.
The 4 plus 4 is what? Hey! And I saw the comment section. The comment section was just my highlight on Facebook. Facebook was just the best place to watch the show, to be very honest. And I mean, I'm just going to pick your minds on some of the delivery styles that the ladies, you know, used in telling their stories to us. So let me just start with you.
So I'm just going back to the lady from the north as well. Like, I just like the fact that she comes in a certain way. She tells a story, and then like watching the whole show, I'm like, so how did they get here? Because is it like the training from the house, or it's like something embedded in them?
We need to
because
find
somebody
out.
is telling a story, and you sit back and be like, intimate me a baby. Because telling me age mates no more So like it's so fascinating to watch them. And I just think that they should just keep it up. There is more to come. I'm sure going forward, the judges will have like a difficult task, like select who has to go home. And so that is why the people voting at home has to do their work. Because the judges have a difficult task, and then voting has to be the thing to choose between who is going to stay in the house. Because I feel like all these girls came with their A game.
Definitely. How about you, Mildred?
So, again, I loved Kwatima. Let's talk about how, like you mentioned earlier, how she just stood up. And her hair, I saw it and I was like, excuse me, what's happening? No, she had a hair net, and then she had wig. Just then the middle was off, and I was like, wow. And then she came and she's talking about all the Edinkra symbols, and I'm like, wow. Like she actually talked about it, and then my mind is just like on Edinkra pie.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know,
Are
you serious right
like,
now,
wow. I'm like, wow. So like, I just loved her, how she delivered. I loved her, how she was very eloquent, if you're being honest. I just loved everything about her. And then Nakwale too as well. She was very great. I loved the way she spoke. She was very eloquent. I think all the ladies are eloquent, if you're being honest. But then there's levels to this. And then in the end, there's always one winner anyway. But they are great, honestly. They're all great.
I also think one thing that they made a lot of use of was the timing.
Right.
So I was wondering how we're listening to 60 stories and we're not bored.
Yes.
Because it's like just one go, and they were just hitting it. You know, it was just straight to the point.
Everybody comes with different energy,
straight,
different vibe.
Like 2 minutes, 1 minute, everybody is done. You know, just hitting it straight. And honestly, we need to find whoever is behind the training, because the person needs accolades. To be very honest, if it's also from their homes, then we're in for trouble this year. But we have some highlights from the shows where we're just going to be picking them one after the other. So we're going to take some of the highlights, and then this is for the best performance as well. So we're going to be taking that, and then when we come back, we'll delve into that. Maybe some people should have been added. Maybe some people should be taken out.
Yes.
Maybe, right? We're going to find out very soon. Just watch this.
Her name invokes great pride and inspiration amongst the Efe people. Hey, because of this bravery, we say the Asantes have Yasantua, but we, the Efe people, we have Mama Yakagbe, the female warrior who defeated her enemies with her mystical powers. Aglamato, Malo, Namatui her.
Salom, this is par excellence.
You have is like she said, Mama Yakagba.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
First question: was there anyone in there that you think should have added anyone else to the best performance nominees?
I think the lady that dressed with the, how do you call it? What's her name? Edinkra.
Kwatima was in
She
there.
was part.
So the
She was in
nominees
there.
were Kwatima, Selom, and Nayeli.
I think they should have given it to the two of them. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, that's not possible.
That's not possible. Just goes for one person.
Yeah, because the
That's
girl
not
was
possible.
good.
So I
too.
think.
Or do you wish they had swapped?
Oh
the
no, I think she
positions?
deserves it.
Maybe she could have gotten best costume. Like Kwatima will get the overall star performance.
Yes, so I honestly thought Kwatima was going to get the best performance, and then Selom, who got the most eloquent or something. I think you should just swap. I mean, it's just anyway. So.
No, we need to find. The judges have done their part. Now it's our time to do our part as well.
So
yeah. Who? Let me see. If I was supposed to add someone to that category,
I think
Nayeli, Kwatima, Selom.
There's this thing that Sang Suma or something.
Sang Suma,
Yeah.
yes. So, well, she was nominated for the best costume.
Yes.
She was like the princess, you know, right? I
Yeah.
think she should have also been nominated.
I
Listen, she
also
have
liked
just done
them.
5.
Just done it. Since there was no eviction, I mean, they should
Yeah.
have taken it.
They should have just done 5 because all the ladies, you know, like you
did
said,
well. I
they
loved it.
came.
Yeah.
But I think the ladies should be proud of themselves.
They should.
Because they did so well.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of the show.
Indeed.
And bringing
their
your
first
A
performance. And bringing your A game on.
Yeah, yeah.
Performing to this
That's
very
when they need a round of
percentage.
applause.
Yes.
Charlie, Charlie,
See,
Charlie,
we've been
Charlie.
clapping on this, like a third time we're clapping on the
Charlie,
show.
Charlie, Charlie.
Clapping.
So that should tell
good.
you how the show was. But I also think Efriye could have been nominated for one of the categories.
Yeah.
You know, maybe for the eloquent. Yes, Efriye did it.
Well.
She did it for me.
But you know, everybody can be awarded.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
That's
We should have
the
done
sad part.
5.
Wow.
So that would just make all of us happy. You know,
Right.
I'm sure people would have still had issues.
Yeah.
Anyways, but see the ladies. Let me drink to
The
your
ladies
to
are
your.
too good.
They are too good.
They are
They are
great.
too good. They are too good.
Love them.
This is on
They
you.
should be so proud of
But
them.
anyway, we're going for a quick breather. When we come back, the show still continues. Please stay with us. And you're welcome back to the Ghana's Most Beautiful review show here on TVC. My name is Nola, as always. Before the break, we had, our first session, spoke about the excellence of the show last night. We just couldn't help but notice how perfectly everything was, set up from the stage, from the host. Every single thing was just perfect last night. And we're just delving deeper into it, breaking it down, saying all the things that were on your chest. We are saying this for you. So don't worry, just make sure you join us. We're live on Facebook, so just make sure you join, send in your comments, and we'll definitely find time to read some on the show for you. A very big thank you going out to Calipo and Frutali for refreshing us as always. We have some very nice, the tea was looking very beautiful. Now we're doing very relaxed. So like I said, send your applications, I'll think about it. Maybe you'll be the next person on the show. People want to be in your shoes.
They should come.
They should come, so you give them space.
Of course.
That's very nice of you.
We did together.
Okay. But I mean, before we went on the break, we're talking about, the star performer. And I'm going to ask one more question.
Right.
If you had to pick, would you have picked Selom?
Honestly, I loved Kwatima. So I definitely would have gone for Kwatima. Yes. I mean, I told you, I loved the way she dressed, the way she appeared, the way she spoke. Everything, her hairstyle sense, really. Like, I loved everything about it. So I would have probably... most definitely gone for Kwatima instead of Selom.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think Selom is cool for me because she delivered. She did well. I never knew about this ever woman who is a Yasantua too.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it? I couldn't even mention it.
Yakagbe.
Yo,
Charlie,
I never
something
knew
like
about it, and I've never heard it. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's new to.
I think
It's new to
something
me
we
because
don't
I'm not.
know.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
because you're not
Yeah,
in that
from that
space,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I never knew like there was somebody from the Volta region who was also a Yasantua for them,
I think we are
and they have a
we
stool
are
for her and
mostly
everything.
told about Yasantwa more. So we don't really know about that. Like I
Yeah.
mentioned, I didn't even know there was like Ewe Kente.
Yeah.
Till Fred Amugi
Yeah.
said like she should have spoken about it and
That
told
as
us
well.
that, yeah. So I just think
So
that's
I mean,
So
I
you would have
like,
still stayed
of
with
course,
Stella?
I think she did well.
Very sure.
Of course, I'm not every boy. Oh.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not
asking a
everybody, but the
question.
girl
I just
did
want to
well.
understand
Oh no,
and
she
be
did
sure.
so well. She
So
did
you're
so well.
staying with her.
I was reading comments on Facebook and people were like, "And you vote that people when it goes for you're happy, when it goes out then you're screaming."
But she did well.
She did well. She
I mean,
had
putting
it.
everything aside, she came. Her
She-
energy
of
was on
course.
point.
That's
She
great.
You know,
came,
her
she saw and she
delivery.
conquered.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
not easy. Okay, we see that. We see that. Anyway, yes, Antoine, we hear you.
Yeah,
ma.
yeah, yes,
Please,
Antoine.
we are sorry.
Yakagbe.
Yeah, yes, that is it. It's not easy. But we have the most eloquent. So we're going to pick some of the, the videos from there, and then we'll come back and then we'll enter the
Go
matter
into
properly. So please, let's take a look.
Today, tourists from far and wide visit the tourist site to immerse themselves in its natural beauty. After tonight, come with me, okay, to the Great Dodowa Forest, yeah, where you will be captivated by its mesmerizing view, allowing you to connect with the past and embrace the present. Nyayiradon.
Thank you, Nayeli.
Na Ayele.
Nayeli wins most eloquent.
And that was Nayeli from the Greater Accra region. She went home with the most eloquent award. And so we're going to be talking about that as
You
well.
know, some of the English words are slippery, mesmerizing. You bob.
So stay away from it.
So if somebody is able to stand on a stage like this,
And say mesmerizing.
yo,
You have to give it to her
Charlie,
straight.
Charlie, the girl is good.
But she's not the only one that said mesmerizing. Actually,
No,
quite a
but
number of
you
them
see,
adopted
I
the
know,
word.
but I'm saying that choosing certain words. Listen, I'll never choose such a word on TV.
When you know you're on
same.
stage,
Same.
Yeah, Charlie.
could just-
And the fact that it's my first time on that stage, my first time picking the mic on that stage,
Yeah.
seeing the crowd, the whole
The
world watching me,
audience,
Like. So kudos to her. Was she your most eloquent?
She did, yeah, she did. I mean, she was for me.
She was for
Yeah,
you.
I'm a gun boy, and I'm not choosing her because.
Yeah, be very diplomatic. Everybody
like-
was.
Oh yeah, she was. She was for me.
It's
Trust
okay.
me. She was so okay for me.
Okay, you tell me. I know that
The
you
Dodowa Forest.
No,
Did you
no.
hear how she told you the story? I'm sure it's in your head now.
Well, a lot of stories are in my head
Right,
actually.
Yo.
stuck in
Even
your
right
head.
now, I'm still remembering Commander. Commander is ringing in my head. Commander.
Yo.
But say,
But she
how
did
about you,
well.
Mildred?
So I liked Selom for most eloquent. I think, I mean, I'm Ghana, but I'm just trying to be very, I think she did better than Na. But I mean, it was great. All of them did well again. So I just felt like for mine, I would have gone for Selom for most
For
eloquent.
most eloquent. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the ladies came. See, these ladies, I keep saying this thing,
brought
and then
fire.
it sounds like we keep repeating
Yeah.
ourselves because it is what it is. Like, no matter what you do, the ladies are just coming on with their A game. And also, kudos to the ladies themselves.
Yes.
You know how they were just cheering each other
Yeah,
on?
I was
out.
wondering. So I was
Yeah.
thinking,
You know?
was the sound coming from the ladies or
Oh,
from
it
the
was
from the-
backstage?
Yeah.
It was from the ladies,
So they were
actually.
supporting one another.
Yeah, they were
Yes,
supporting
they were.
each other.
I think the only ones that were coming from the backstage, like the people that were helping, the sound people,
Yeah.
were like the songs. When they had to sing the
Yes.
songs, they just
Yeah.
held them and all that. But
But
all
the-
all the story, all those things.
Oh,
It was from
wow.
the
Even got to a
audience.
point, Cookie was also saying, I think
You
she was
know?
also enjoying
Exactly.
everything.
And, you know, it was
It was
coming from the
good,
ladies
yeah.
and then the audiences. And they were
That's the
even in their
support
elements.
system.
They were even because you could see their reactions. Some of them were like,
Yeah.
"Hey!"
The shock
I
on
think
their
I
faces.
caught one of the ladies doing that to one of the. I don't know if we have that, but she was just like, "What?"
Which was alright.
And I was like, what's going on here? I would be like a theater or something. But
I feel like
listen,
because it's, you know the whole by the fireside experience. So your grandma is telling you the story, and you're like, "Hey, grandma!"
But you know,
So like that's the
Mildred,
feel
I'm not sure
they
any
had.
of the girls there really enjoyed by the fireside.
I
So
don't,
they
I
are
don't
really
think
sure.
so.
Oh, no, I don't
think
think
so. Maybe just a few of
Maybe
them.
yeah, feel of
Yeah.
it. I feel like maybe they've heard the stories, and the stories were fascinating. These are stories
Yeah.
that are fresh. Like maybe you've heard them before, but the twist that comes to the story, the
Yeah.
angles that come from the voice, the person's character. Charlie,
The
you'll be
persona.
moved.
It was
I
so
think
it was
great.
just them being
Yeah.
themselves
Of course,
and
they were being
reacting
themselves.
like the way some of us were reacting at home,
Yeah, backstage.
hearing ewe yes and so on.
No.
But there was a performance, Quatimer's performance actually got Uncle Fred speechless.
Yes.
You know, he was like, we have
To the
that.
top.
We have that. We're
really loved
we're going to play that and then we'll come back and talk about that. I just think it was a wow moment. Let's just pick that.
But their accounts and to Ghana at large. They are used in our cloth, in royal places like the palace, the museum, even in offices. Oh, When the president invited me to his office this morning, I wasn't surprised to see the GMB symbol right opposite the Ghana flag. I think all the way.
That was a super show. Yeah. I'm so dumbfounded. You played the role to the hilt. You hit the nail right on the head. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best because this I don't know how to describe what you did. That was really, really good. Keep it up. Beyond the moon is where you belong. It will come to pass.
Some great words coming in from our judges. And if Kwatima from the Bono region wowed you as well, the short code is very simple.
My God, Uncle Freddie, his prophetic
Beyond
elements. You know, he was
Beyond the moon.
beyond the
What is
moon,
beyond
over
the
the
moon?
hilts, hitting
Noella,
the nail
what's
right
beyond-
on the head.
Oh, listen, what is beyond the moon?
Well, I don't know what's
It's
there.
a new vocab.
We don't know
course.
what's
Beyond the moon. You hit the nail right on the
on the
head.
head, over the hilts.
He was
Charlie,
speechless,
of
honestly.
course.
He was speechless. Like, he loved her performance. So everything was just, he was just trying to find words to explain.
to
Because he
express
had to
himself.
speak.
Exactly.
Let's say he'll just, give facial
Whoa.
expressions
Like, that's
and just
all.
go. That was a beautiful performance
Yeah.
from Kwatima and all
Yeah.
the other ladies, all the ladies, even Nura. I remember when she started the show. I think when she started very slow, and then gradually she picked up, and that was like a very great start. I'm like, okay, if this is what is coming, what else?
What's
This
next?
is how we're starting.
Who's
How's it
next?
going to be like? And then from beginning to
Yeah.
end, like first person hits it, last person hits it. And I'm like, okay, we're in for a show. But you
Yeah.
guys, don't forget, like he said, Nene said, if the only thing that's going to help the ladies right now is your votes.
Of course.
Because they're all putting their A game. The judges are going to do their best to score them. But if you do not vote for them, that's when they're going to fall short. So make sure you're dialing star 713. I'm sure by now you can even quote the short code. Star 713 star 13 hash. Or download TV3 Reality
You see,
app.
when you download the app, it is
Yeah.
easy for you to know who is winning,
Exactly.
who is leading. Then you can put in more votes.
You can just put in
because
more
when
votes.
you vote your 5 CD and you think you've done something, go be cock
5
out.
CDs, yeah, it's not reaching anywhere,
Better.
honestly. Let me be honest with you. If you think you voted 5 CDs and you have done something,
No,
dear,
you're joking.
please advise yourself. So just
But
download
no,
the
I
app.
think yesterday was a learning curve for not only us, the audience, but the girls as well. Because I remember when somebody came, she made a mistake, and then she has to be corrected. When another person came, she
took
didn't
her.
repeat the
Yeah.
mistake. So it was a learning curve for all of
I
us.
think that was when Uncle Fred was like, she was talking and she said sorry.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't say sorry because
Yeah.
it makes your audience aware of the
Yeah.
mistake you've
Mistake you've
done.
made,
So
yeah.
the next lady came and then she just went to and was like, oh wow, you picked it from her.
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah.
funny thing is, when I was watching it, I just remembered an event I attended the day before, and the speaker was talking about storytelling, and he said nobody knows your story better than you.
Yeah.
So especially for a day like this, we don't know what you're coming to say.
Exactly.
You might have an idea. The only mistake you might make is maybe a grammatical error.
yeah.
But aside that, if you don't say sorry, we don't even know that it's a
Maybe it's part of the story.
Maybe we even think it's your language. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
We won't know. So I think it's a cue that the ladies have picked. And then going forward, every single person is going to pick that as
Even
well.
with that, I feel like everybody else, even aside the ladies, everybody else should learn this.
Yes.
Because he even said that it's for all of us. If I'm telling you something and I don't say sorry and I
Yeah.
continue with it, you will realize I've made a mistake.
Never.
Just go. So I just feel
So
like
maybe
everybody.
some-
And performing acts come with it's your own style.
Yeah.
You are performing, you are the act, you are the character. So
You have the
when-
mic.
of course.
We
when-
don't.
What you give us is what
Right.
we take.
Yeah.
So when you,
Like
if
you
it's a
have the
mis-
center
maybe it's your
stage.
language, maybe it's your style of telling the story, maybe
We'll
it's your
never
style
know.
of getting the attention of the people.
We'll never
Yeah.
know.
So just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And it's I learned something
Maybe
yesterday.
some 10 years later before we realize that, this girl
just-
actually made a
course.
mistake.
Yeah.
But
Cry.
till then, we never
Right.
know. So
True.
please, you're the best person to tell your story. So this is a lesson for every single one of us.
Everybody, right.
So we have another, so we're going to talk about Uncle Fred because he was a guest,
Yeah.
on the show. And talking about storytelling, I don't even know who else could have been on the show. He was just the best person to come in there. So what do you make of some of his comments, overall performance?
So I think I don't want to say because he was the guest judge, he was trying to be, but I think with comparing him to both Auntie G and the other lady, I think he was very particular about certain things. Like he picked very little details and spoke about them. Because with the story thing, I'm sure someone would have just listened and like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
But he spoke on it and even advised all of us. I think he was very, let me say, he was very tactical with his words, with encouraging the ladies. I think someone didn't really put up to his expectation. And he actually said it that no, like she could have done better,
yeah.
right? I feel like the other judges I think they are probably used to the whole show thing, so they were a little relaxed. But Uncle Fred came and he brought like, okay, do this, do that, and you'll be better. So I really liked his judging.
How about you?
I think Uncle Fred, this is first time doing something like this. I don't know. I stand to be corrected.
Honestly, I wouldn't put myself in that space.
Yeah, so I think he used the platform very well because we've always seen him on the screens, acting, etc. But I've never seen him teaching us how to go about the work. And there's someone who's been in the space for a long time, even before some of us were born.
Yeah.
So he's bringing the things he's picked up from his childhood age through acting and everything. And he taught us a lot. But I felt like at some point, he was under too much pressure because after everybody's performance, he has to make a comment.
Yes.
And that was like, sometimes he wouldn't know the right word to use or how to express how to express how to express himself at somebody's performance. And so maybe in the future, a guest judge shouldn't even be made to talk too much. Maybe the person can be made to talk to me. I feel like your man was under too much pressure yesterday. Trust me. Yeah,
I also think that, like you said, because we're used to Auntie Jane and Auntie Jibodi, so we need like a neutral, if I should say, like a neutral ground. So
then
they try to.
We should have two guest judges.
Well, I think there was a time that it was like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, going forward, maybe we
like
could.
He was under a lot of pressure.
To comment on every single person.
How to express himself. Maybe he knew what to say, but how to put it.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't like to repeat the same words
for the first person.
And he has to say this for 16 good times.
That was a loss. That's a loss, actually. Thinking about it, that's a loss. But I mean, all in all, he was just the best person for the storytelling episode on Ghana's Beautiful 2023. We are going for another break. When we come back, there's still more on the show. Please stay with us. It's still the Ghana's Most Beautiful review show. I'd like to urge all of you to join us on Facebook because I'll try and be reading some of your comments so I can see what you're thinking of the show as well. What you thought of the show, all the changes that you felt should have been made in there, who you think should have been, in there that wasn't, or who should have been taken out, all of that. Please make sure you join our stream on Facebook at TV3 Ghana so that I can read all of that for you as well. Very big thank you to our sponsors again, Calipo and Fruteli, for refreshing us on the show. So we're discussing, Upper East region at Duanige, her one. Now, when she came on and she was going to tell us a story of how there's A attached to almost all their names, I was like, okay, we're in for this. Like, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Then she started, and I don't know what was happening.
Yeah.
I think I got lost at a point.
We all got lost.
Oh, I wasn't the only one.
We all got lost because I didn't know how. I couldn't connect it.
Connect the dots.
So what she was saying, she said when her people were in trouble some 200 years ago, the people were in trouble, they had to consult the gods, and the gods advised them to name the warriors according to the things around them. So a rock now became strength by adding an A to it. But where did the A come from?
Why didn't they decide to use B?
Exactly.
S, C, D,
E? Those are the things she should have been telling us.
Or
maybe is it like they can't pronounce certain words, alphabet, so A is what they could pronounce.
Because
also maybe, right? This is me trying to understand the whole situation. So maybe the things around them, like the strength and all those things, were things that already had A's attached to them.
Maybe.
So let's say, for instance, I don't even know how to put it, but if a rock had to be called strength, they have to, like, the actual name of the, well, listen, I'm just trying to, but it's just not working. Anyways.
If they're not people, they should try and explain to us.
Yeah.
We want to understand. We want to get to the bottom of it.
Yes, please. Probably.
Yeah.
But I think they also really tried with that. But I'd like us to look at the best costume.
Right.
Best costume, I feel like quite a number of people could have made it, but we're going to take the pictures of the nominees. So we had Sung Suma. She had like the whole princess look. Nayeli was in there. Salom was in there, and then Kwatima was in there as well. So there we have. So this is Kwatima, that's Salom on the. So Salom, Kwatima, and then we have Sung Suma and Nayeli. Yes. So there we have it. Who should have made it to the cuts?
A free for me.
Ifriye should have made it. I agree.
Ifriye for me.
Ifriye should have been in there. Well, I don't know if we could take anybody out.
I think
They all deserve it, but I think
Ifriye could have joined
because
them.
she looked different from everybody.
Right?
Yesterday. Yeah, the cape, the
Yeah.
baggy jeans, the
Yeah.
sneaker, the socks.
Yeah, I think she was different because
Yeah.
everybody is like, okay, in the whole traditional, but her dressing was backing
took us
what
back.
she was. You know, she
Yeah.
said burger something.
Yes.
And then you know how the burgers do dress when they are coming now. They want to know that they've landed.
And
So
even
with
the
their
thing-
chains, their jewelry,
The
their
bullet top.
Everything was
Oh.
just
Yeah.
working.
was given.
Well, so maybe she should have made it as
Yeah,
well.
maybe she should
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And I actually wish that Sung Suma should have picked the best
Same.
costume.
Same.
Because she was
It's like so pretty, like
Yeah.
so like she's such a doll.
and she was talking about being a princess
Yeah.
and why, you know, her
800
dad,
years ago.
her dad, well, by 800 years ago, the princesses were not dressing like that. So, let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's not how they were
They're
dressing.
probably in leaves and things.
Exactly. You see,
Yeah.
let's tell the truth sometimes. But I mean, all the ladies brought their
Yeah.
agents, like we said.
But Olila,
But-
her dressing, I didn't like it.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the motive behind the dressing.
The whites.
Yeah, the whites. Was it singlet or what was that?
It was singlets.
Right.
with
Who
sh-
gave it to
with-
her? Who
with
advised
shorts.
her?
Probably because of the story she was
Oh, no.
telling. You know, it had to just correlate.
It didn't
you know.
resonate
It
with
didn't
you.
work for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. But like you said, all the ladies. So let me just ask one final. In totality, from confidence, eloquence, you know, star performer, everything, performance, da, 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 da. Who did it for you, Nene? So I give you time to think.
I think the
Oh, you
Olila
want-
region girl did it for me.
Serum did it.
Yeah, she did it for me. And you see, let's not kid ourselves too. This whole thing is not their soul making. So it's not a making of the queens to come on stage and perform well. There are a lot of people who do a lot of work behind the scenes. There are managers, the people who write the script, the people who go through the scripts. And I want to advise all those people who do those things for the queens that you may think you are doing something for the queens today, but you're adding to your CV. Because GMB goes beyond the glamour, the winning the car and everything. You may go somewhere and you can tell people that I managed this person when the person was at GMB. And GMB is a show everybody is watching. So her
always
output,
trending on Twitter.
you know, her output, everything she's doing, people are seeing it.
Yeah.
So if you go stand somewhere and say, okay, I was the one behind this, people really acknowledge the fact that you did some work. And so they should just keep up supporting the queens. And I think TV3 once a while should acknowledge the people who work for these
behind.
queens. 'Cause I
Maybe we
mean,
should have an
you
episode
have
so they
their
can perform with them
managers.
or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be given a chance to even share their stories,
Yeah.
how they
Them.
went about. I mean, it's
Yeah,
it
how
makes
Noted.
sense. They should
Noted.
note it down. And I suggested it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nene. So it's when you guys stand somewhere, you say that
that
you
I
suggested. Mildred, how about you?
Okay,
Who
so
did
I
it for
think,
you?
So same Kwatima and then Sung Suma. I think she would have. I think there was a tie between her and Sung Suma. I can't pick both, like, but well, I think for both of them, I think I will go with Kwatima, but Sung Suma also did well. So
So both of them did it
both
for
of them
you.
for me.
Okay, next week is another week. I honestly don't have any idea what you're planning to do next week. It's going to wow us as always.
Can't
But
wait.
what are you expecting for next Sunday?
I think the queens have seen the stage. They've seen the heat that comes when you're on the stage. They've seen everything. They've seen the people, the judges, and everybody. They're going to be seeing guest judge.
Yeah.
The only new person they're going to see will be the guest judge, if there will be
Definitely.
any. So I expect them to come without any excuse and give out their best.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How about you?
So honestly, they should just bring their A game. They should do hard. Like that's the way they should just go hard.
Yeah.
Because with all these judges, I don't want them to get too complacent.
True.
Because you know that I'm seeing this face here, I'm seeing this face here. I know there's two faces. Who is going to be the next one? I could just go my way and not
Yeah.
do too well, but I just want them to bring their A game. Like,
Right.
do well because you are winning. It's the crowd.
It's a
So
crown.
just focus on the
It's a
crown.
crown, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways,
on
thank
the
you guys.
crown.
Thank you guys so much. It's always fun doing this with you. Nene
Thank
and
you
Mildred were my
too.
guests in the studio today. Very big thank you going out to our sponsors as well,
Yes.
Calipo and Frutelli. This is great. Delicious.
Are we popping something?
Yeah. You want to what?
Yeah. How do
Cheers.
you cheers?
Oh, please. Please, you finish drinking it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a time we're going to cheers.
Yeah, cheers
But
to
thank
you.
you guys so much. Next week, we're here same time, Mondays, 5 p.m. live. Make sure you join us. I'd like to read your comments. I would love to read all your comments. And so, see you at GMB on Sunday. Yeah, 8 p.m.
True Ghanaian woman, you are wise and strong. are from the north.